Yes, guys, we're back. It's Friday. It's Chasing Green Arrows. Dean, how you doing, my friend? Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, mate. Yep, I'm good. Yeah, not a bad week football-wise. There's been a lot of Champions League, Europa action too. West Ham with a terrible performance last night, which caught me out. Liverpool with a bit of a goal glut. They looked very good. Ryan Gravenberch looks really good, doesn't he, for Liverpool at the moment?
Yes, there's been. Wasn't he? He was amazing yesterday, Gravenberch.
Yeah, last couple of games I've been really, really impressed with Gravenberch, and I don't think he's really an FPL asset at this point, but he's adding like a real energy to that midfield, and I've been really impressed with how quickly he's got up to speed. So that's really interesting. In terms of an FPL perspective, not that happy with my team. I'm not wildcarding this week. I'm basically because everyone is. I don't want to do that, and I'd rather keep it in the bag. So I can still have all my chips available to me for the foreseeable future. My team's not terrible. Still think it's okay. I'm a little bit scared of what other people might put on the board this weekend. But then I'm thinking, well, there's an international break coming in a couple of weeks' time. And maybe I come out the other side of that with like fresh eyes. And because this season, look, it's been a really unpredictable season, which is great. But people that are picking wildcards right now, I don't trust them because there hasn't been really a template that's been like good.
Wildcarders are all selling really good players. Like I'm selling Trippier, I'm selling Maddison. You know, like there's no reason to sell these guys, but I'm just selling great players for hopefully better players. But yeah, it's a tough call this week. Like, guys, you'll see my wildcard in the next couple of minutes. Maybe 10, 20 minutes. We'll also do the community team, which is what we're all here for today. And guys will be answering your questions. So hello to CH, who's got up at 5:30 a.m. Thank you, CH, for joining us from the West Coast. We've got big tips. We've got Vindy, we've got Mark, we've got Ice G. We've got loads in the chat saying, why don't we captain Ollie Watkins? And I would love the Chasers to go for a differential captain this week. And we will be polling the captain. And the poll will not be who will you captain. The poll will be who do you want the Chaser team to captain? I think we need to try and maybe differentiate ourselves from that. I'm in a different room. As always, I'm being asked where I am. I'm in my bedroom because I've got friends round and one of them is working today and she's working from my normal room. And I'm having to be really quiet and face the window because my daughter's room's just behind me and she's napping. And I'm like, oh, if she doesn't, you know what it's like, Dean. When an 18-month-old or doesn't get their nap, doesn't get more like it's a rubbish afternoon, isn't it?
It's a rubbish day, mate. Yeah, you can whisper if you want, mate, just to avoid that from happening. I totally get it. In terms of presses that we've got coming up today, I mean, it's not very convenient for us really doing this stream right now, but just so we all know where we're at, Jurgen Klopp's due to speak at 1. And at 1:30, just as we're wrapping things up here, Ten Hag, Guardiola, Arteta and Pochettino all due to speak. So as soon as you're done here, head over to wherever you typically get your news from, or just head over to X, and you'll see the team news start to roll in because there are some interesting updates. It's not as bad as things used to be when there was that point a few weeks ago when all of our teams were just flagged left, right, and centre. But there's still a few things we need to look out for, I think.
Yeah, I think every Friday there's usually one piece of information that changes things from an FPL perspective. It could be an update on an injury, or it could be a tactical switch, or a manager massively bigging up a player. Like, I don't know if we're going to get a Brighton interview out of De Zerbi because he spoke last night post-match. But again, like we saw Brighton's even pre-match quotes, like talking about Adingra as like, you know, bigger part of this team. He's a 5 million FPL asset. He paid 90 in the last 2 Premier League games. He paid 90 again last night. It does feel with no Solly March on the right-hand side. And sure, Buonanotte will get a few minutes. Fatty can play on the right. But Dingra is a 5 million asset with the Brighton fixtures coming up, for example, could be a great enabler. And that's come a lot from, yes, performances, but two, De Zerbi's quotes. So those press conferences are always key.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. I haven't got any Brighton players in my team right now. I can't remember if I
Oh,
made
you
a transfer.
tempted by me because that fixture run they've got is amazing. Like I've got Matoma in my wildcard team, and Fatty's in red hot form. João Pedro scored again last night. Adingwa, there's good options that are cheap in that Brighton attack.
Yeah, that is true. They're playing Fulham, so I obviously
Yeah, sorry.
not particularly wanting them to do well. We actually don't have a bad record against Brighton,
Interesting.
which is a good thing for us. It was a bit of a well, we got very lucky last time. I think it was a game of Manor Solomon cut inside and scored during that little phase. Pretty sure he did that against Brighton. But yeah, so the fact it's Fulham makes me not particularly want a Brighton asset. So I need to consider that. I do still have a transfer to make. I haven't made my free transfer yet. Considering it in goal, to be honest, because at the moment I've got Turner who's playing Liverpool and Onana who's playing against Man City. So
Yeah.
love either of those. But then I've also got Gusto in my starting lineup at the moment. I've got Joachim Anderson in my starting lineup at the moment. He's playing against Tottenham. I've got Andreas Pereira in my team at the moment.
Sounds like a wild card, mate.
Like honestly, I would typically do a wild card now. I'm just not
just
doing it. Yeah, I'm not. I want to be different. You never know what you might get, and then also a few weeks down the road, it also gives us something to talk about here when I can wild card. So
yeah,
I'm doing it for you lot. I'm doing it for you lot.
I'll be building wildcard drafts. Yeah, it's all about we'll get that clickbait in again, mate, with some more wildcard shows.
Yeah, exactly. It gives us a chance to do another wildcard show. But yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm going. Also, captain. Like I said last week that I'm not going to be taking the armband off of Haaland. I don't know if I'm going to be captain.
I look, backing against Haaland's always tricky, but there's players with amazing home fixtures. Watkins, Salah, Saka, Haaland's away. Also, Haaland played 90 minutes on a plastic pitch on Tuesday night. I was surprised at that. I was really surprised he played 90. And yeah, Salah was rested, came on for 20, scored his goal. Watkins did play 85, which is annoying. And that actually last night has made me jump off Watkins. I was sort of thinking I might go against Salah, but seeing Watkins play 85 versus Salah's 20, I think that just swung me the other direction. And Saka played Tuesday night, did come off with a few minutes to go and did pick up a knock during the game, but I assume Saka will be absolutely fine. But again, a good captaincy option. Sheffield United at home is a big fixture for Arsenal. That's easy. That's 4 goals. That's 4
It is. Do you know what? Part of me thought, would I use a free hit on a week like this? Not using my wild card. Would I take a free hit in a week when there's not any doubles? Probably not. But looking at the fixtures and like looking at my team right now and not wanting to take it did make me think. There is part of me that's like, why not? Why not? It's just a game. I don't know if I'm going to actually do that, but there is part of me that look. There's a chance tonight that I'm going out for a few beers. So I'm pleased that the deadline is 6:30 today, because I think if I'd let that decision get later into tonight,
if it was a Saturday morning deadline
lingering in my head, I think I would have gone there.
You've been there before, free hit, a night out, haven't you?
Absolutely have, and I'm like, the fact it's 6 hours away. The deadline means I'm not going to be having beers in the next 6 hours. So I think I'm going to let logic stick. It's either wild card or just one transfer.
Good man, because we need, again, when you free hit, mate, we'll build a show around it. So keep us fresh for ideas, will you? Big tip says, now Saka's had a price rise. I may have to take a punt on Martinelli. Last night, out of nowhere, Saka went from 8.5 to 8.6. Now, when I build my wildcard team at the start of the week, I take out all the players that could drop in price, so I don't lose team value, and I bring in all the players that could go up in price. Saka was one I actually sold because I was like, I can bring him back in on Friday and his price won't move because he wasn't forecast to jump. And then out of nowhere last night, he had a price rise. So whilst I've probably made 0.6, 0.7 on my wildcard this week, and players that have already gone up, I don't know, whoever, Watkins, Cash, I've lost 0.1 on Saka. And that means the wildcard team I'm about to show you, I'm 0.1 short of.
Oh, no.
Honestly, I'm so annoyed at myself. I woke up in a foul mood when I saw that. But the good news is I can easily save the 0.1 and it doesn't affect my starting 11. So I guess let's move on and show my wildcard team, and then we'll do the community team. We've got to get through loads of polls as well.
We've got a lot to do. Yeah, that's true.
Good to see so many in the chat, by the way. Do hit that like button. Only 25 of you have hit the like button so far. But look, this is my wildcard draft. This is the draft I made on Sunday. This is the draft that I think the Premier League wrote about on Monday and tweeted out on Tuesday. This draft has not changed all week. I've got a version 2 and a version 3, which I'll tell you about with very few changes, but I think this is the team I'm going to be set on. But I do need to find point 1. So let me know in the chat where you think I should find that point 1, and I'll tell you what I'm planning on doing in just a second with that point 1. But the key cogs of this wildcard, not much is going to change. And not much is even, I said about the version 2 and 3. The changes are really around those midfield positions of Matoma and Diaby. I would like Martinelli, but to get Martinelli, I'd have to sell Matoma and Diaby. And there's a variation where I could go Martinelli and João Pedro instead of Mabama. But I don't think it's worth it. And I think Diaby's still a great shout. A few have said weak defence, Gianni from Ice G. It is. The starting 3 each week will be Cash, Gabriel and Tsimikas. And with their fixtures, I'm fine with that. I would like an extra 0.2 or 0.3 where I could go Maguire, because Maguire's 4.2. So if I had 0.3 in the bank, I'd go Taylor to Maguire. And Maguire has good fixtures when Gabriel has a bad fixture against Newcastle and Tsimikas has a bad fixture coming up in 4 or 5 game weeks time too. But I don't have that luxury. So I'm going to go thin at the back and I'm going to go thin on the bench. A few in the chat suggesting exactly what I'm going to do. Resting Pilgrims nailed it. Michael's nailed it. Mr. T's nailed it. I'm going to be going Turner down to Strakosha, who is the Brentford second choice keeper. Did play the other week because Flecken was injured, but there is a chance Flecken loses his place because he's not been great, has he, Dean Flecken?
Not really.
And Strakosha's got a bit of pedigree. I remember him playing for Lazio last season. I wonder if he gets his opportunity, and if he does, Brentford will have a double game week because their fixture against City and then game week 18 will be cancelled because of the Club World Cup. So I'm annoyed because I would prefer Turner because he is currently the starting choice, but I think Turner will lose his place, and I think Strakosha could gain his place. So it's my saving of 0.1. What do you reckon to that?
Yeah, I think that's a wise move. It's a position that you can afford to just lose someone in as well. It doesn't matter. Like Areola's going to be playing in that game. Like you know that, so you're safe in that sense. I mean, the one small risk factor, I guess, with Areola is that West Ham are reeling from the fact that they were beating Olympiacos last night. It was as bad as West Ham have been all season. But Areola played, but not necessarily a disaster from him. They've got Everton, so you would expect West Ham to bounce back. And even if they are poor, you'd expect Areola to be able to put in a good enough performance that he gets save points and still potentially keep a clean sheet against Everton, who just aren't that good and might even be getting a 12-point deduction soon, which will be RIP to Everton's Premier League status. I think that makes sense, mate. I think that's the only thing you really can do from that setup.
Yeah, with this wildcard team, the weak spot, like a few have said, bad defence, but I personally think it's a good defence because you've still got a Liverpool, an Arsenal, and a Villa player starting each week. For me, it's the Areola position, but the problem is he's so cheap to not consider at 4.2, and there isn't really any standout 4.5 options that have just fly in. So whilst I'm not really expecting West Ham clean sheets, I might get some save points. I might get a clean sheet or two. And there's no other options. If I thought Raya at Arsenal was absolutely nailed long term, I think I'd probably find the money and go Raya at 4.8. But he had another bad game in the Champions League in the week. And at some point, Arteta's patience, that's not even patience run out. Like the long-term plan is Raya number 1. But I do wonder if Ramsdale sees some minutes soon. What do you think there, Dean, with that Arsenal number 1 position? Look, Raya's likely to keep it, but it's not nailed. It's not 100%. Therefore, for FPL goalkeeper that you need to play every week, it's a bit risky, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Arteta has literally said he doesn't want a number 1 and he wants to change the goalkeeper.
Yeah.
So we should be due a change of goalkeeper. Like we really should be. Like there's no way that Raya should continue to just non-stop be the Arsenal goalkeeper. Like Ramsdale is too good to just be sat there all season. Yeah. I did a story on this earlier in the week, and Ramsdale probably isn't going to be sold this season. The intention from Arsenal is not to sell him. Arteta wants both of his goalkeepers available to him all season. He's got big ambitions to win a trophy, to compete for the title. He wants 2 keepers this good. Ramsdale, people I speak to say they don't think he'll probably push that hard for a transfer unless something is there for him. Because where's he going to go? Like if he goes to Chelsea, which is mooted, he's still got exactly the same position because Robert Sanchez isn't suddenly going to be forgotten about or sold. Like you've still got to compete
No,
for
he
your
is rubbish.
place. But they've just bought him and they really like him.
Yeah.
They've just got him. So he's still got an actual competitor. Plus, he costs £60 million halfway through a season for a goalkeeper. You don't usually see goalkeepers go midway through a season, let alone for £60 million.
Yeah.
So I think it's actually unlikely, as it stands right now, that Ramsdale does move. But the longer he goes without games, obviously it becomes a point where he's going to have to be like, look, I do actually need to play football.
Yeah, and like there's a Euros coming up. Ramsdale is in the top 3 keepers in England, and if he ain't playing, although look, with Gareth Southgate, you never quite know. Maguire weren't playing and still got in squads. Henderson the same.
He'll still be in the
Phillips,
squad, but
at Man City gets in the
Nick
squad.
Pope's playing well. Nick Pope made an amazing double save the other night.
Oh, he did. That was amazing.
Pope's great, but did he go in? But I think typically, like Ramsdale's going to be in the England squad, but if he's playing or not, he's not going to be number one anyway. Pickford's going to be England's goalkeeper.
Yeah, no, it's a fair point. Guys, let me know what you think to the wildcard. A few have said maybe Diaby would be where you find the 0.1. Diaby's an interesting one because, I've been in some Villa content creators' DMs this morning being like, look, is he going to play at the weekend? Because Leon Bailey was Aston Villa's best player last night. He came on at the weekend and scored. He played last night in the Diaby role, sort of front two, and he was creating everything. He scored a goal himself. I'm putting it down to a Diaby rest because Emery did rest a few players. He rested his centre-backs. He rested Diaby. Zaniolo was on the bench. And I'd like to think Villa will be unchanged in the Premier League this weekend and Diaby's absolutely fine. But there's a slight nagging doubt in my mind to suggest that Bailey comes in instead. But it could be all 3 of them play. And we have seen this. It could be no Zaniolo. It's a good fixture. He's got Luton at home. He can play Bailey and Diaby. But then does that lessen Diaby's firepower if he's in the front 3 with 2 flyers? You want him in a front 2 almost with Watkins. What's your take on Diaby? Because he's not been good in recent weeks, but I just think he's got great pedigree, and against Luton it's a potential hat-trick because he's on his day that good.
Yeah, exactly. He's got 2 pointers the last 2 outings at Diaby, which means that most people will start to think that they can veer away from him, but he's had some decent point hauls so far this season. If it wasn't Luton, I think I would take him out.
Yeah.
But Luton haven't been terrible. It's not like they're losing 5-0 every week. But there's always the potential that they are about to lose 5-0. And so, and with the way that Aston Villa are playing this season...
Oh, they're flying, aren't they?
They're flying, and they're such a confidence team at the moment. And when things are going well, they're going really well, and the goals are flying in. So, yeah, because of the Luton factor, mate, I can totally see why you're going to stick with him.
Yeah, like Luton on the road this season have conceded something like 13 goals. Like, there is an argument to say Watkins should be the obvious captain candidate this week. And I think a lot will go towards Salah because of that security we have with Salah and the consistency. But Watkins has matched him for consistency. And we know at home, Watkins is lethal. Colm says, no way is this Gianni's team. Even I would have Palmer in my wild card, and I support Fulham. Yeah, the Palmer decision is really weird. Like, I could go Palmer, and many are going Palmer so they can go Bowen. Like, Matoma and Diaby could be Palmer and Bowen, and then a slightly better defence. I'm hiding behind a curtain. Sorry, it's just I want some back support. I was sat in the middle of my floor. I'm against the wall now. And I don't like Bowen. I don't like West Ham, and I don't love Bowen as an asset. I prefer Diaby, and I prefer Matoma. So look, Palmer's a brilliant enabler, but I think I'll end up moving to Palmer in 4 weeks, 5 weeks, and it might be for Diaby. But when the fixtures are bad, and they are bad for Chelsea, although the next 2 are okay, Brentford and Spurs, but then it does hit a tough run, I'm okay going without Palmer, who is a bit of a gift because he's on pens and he's 4.9, now 5 million. But I really want Matoma and Diaby. And I look at those fixtures for Matoma: Fulham, Everton, Sheffield United, and Diaby, Luton, Forest, Fulham. This is purely a fixtures play, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Do you know what? Just to play devil's advocate, if I was to get another Villa player instead of Diaby, I'd be going Douglas Luiz.
Oh, he's got massive points, but he's still so...
He's a penalty taker.
Yeah, he's a penalty, and he's shooting from distance and scoring too, but he's just not attacking enough. He's close to a DM, and it's like, oh, okay.
No, I totally agree. I mean, he's scored in each of his last 6 home Premier League appearances. It's the longest run by an Aston Villa player in the Premier League era, I think. So it's just something I'm like, at 5.5 million, I don't know. It's just something I can't avoid because if he's on pen still, there's always going to be that element, especially in a period of fixtures where they're playing Luton, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, like clumsy challenges, handballs, whatever. Like Villa are going to be on top of all of those games, so it increases the penalty potential. So yeah, like I know you're not going to do this, but I'm just saying, like if I was really looking to save cash and wanted a Villa asset, I think you could put up an argument that Douglas Luiz is as likely to score as Diaby is.
Like Douglas Luiz, again, like we've seen him historically as a DM, and he's not now, is he? Like, let's be honest, with Kamara in the team, there's one DM and it's Kamara, and the likes of Douglas Luiz are kind of playing box to box number 8, which again gives him a little bit more license from shots from distance and occasionally getting into the area. But yeah, and again, 1974 has just said that perception of Luiz should change. And I think Kamara is a big influencing factor in that. He's still not far enough forward for my liking. Actually, I tweeted the Aston Villa average position map from last night, and you can see like he's just not attacking enough for me, but the penalty appeal is there. He's still a good option. I think I prefer at that price point Gordon, Neto. Just I like players that are higher up the pitch with penalty area touches. But yeah,
no, I understand it.
It's
Yeah,
a fair point, and a lot are going there, mate. Like he's had a price rise, so clearly you're onto something. And the 4 yellows is interesting. Like he will pick up yellows. Gordon, for example, just got suspended for 5 yellows and is back now, but it's happening now. We're starting to see some of those yellow cards coming into effect. So that's my team. We'll have another look at it at the end of the show. But I want to move now on to the Chaser team because we've got over 200 of you watching. So it's about time to start doing some Chaser votes. Before we make our substitutes, we need to give you a little bit of context. And I want to do the first vote that's captaincy. So let's do a vote for captaincy. This isn't for your team. This is for the Chaser team. Would you like to captain Saka, Salah, Watkins, or Haaland? I don't think we'll give Maddison as an option. We'll go Saka, Haaland, Watkins, Salah. The big 4 in this team.
Wow. It's 4 big options.
Yeah. It's a good team. But you might see there is an elephant in the room with that red number at the top. If you watch Monday's show, you'll know that we built this team with all your votes. So we don't want to remove anyone, but we have to because we knew we were over budget. We were well over budget. In fact, this is a ridiculously good team. But we're going to have to make some trims. So we want your suggestions in the chat to let us know where you think we should cut. Now, you'll see there it says 1.8. At the start of the week, 1.8 was very much a thing. But being the Chaser team and being a community team, we didn't actually click those transfers. It's not on me and it's not on Dean, guys. So I can only apologise.
Shift the blame.
Our producer was otherwise engaged, and he thought, no, let's run that risk and go for Friday transfers and push the Chaser team that little bit harder because we can do this. We can get through with a big week.
How much does it cost us?
0.5.
500 grand. That's a hell of a loss.
So it's 2.3, mate. We need 2.3. Where are we going to find it? It's not just one move, is it? I mean, it is if you sell Trippier, but for most, I think it's going to be let's take X and Y out and replace them with Z and another layer.
Yeah, it's really difficult loss here. I mean, Trippier is an obvious one to drop down from because he is expensive as a defender. I don't know where else I go. Like Alvarez, you could put up as an option, but I quite fancy him in that game against Man United, and then 2 decent fixtures for Alvarez after that, which I'd fancy him in too. Oh, I don't know where you're going to get it, mate. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I mean, Trips does allow just one move, like 2.3. How much does that leave us for Trips? My math is terrible. So that'd be 5.7, 4.7. That leaves us with 4.4 on a defender. There's loads of defenders for 4.4.
There's loads, yeah. That could be done quite relatively easily.
Do not sell Trippier, says Gets Games. Trippier to Gabriel. Okay. Maddison to Matoma. Wow, does that allow us the right funds, Michael Scott? Let us know. Maddison out does seem fairly popular. If you're saying Haaland out, I mean, we do have
Surely Maddison to Matoma doesn't work, does it?
Maddison to Matoma, and it was another move.
Oh,
I think it
and right, okay.
was it Trippier to Gabriel?
Oh,
Yeah,
right, okay.
Trippier to Gabriel, Maddison to Matoma. I think that would save us at least that money.
Okay.
Mate, I think with captaincy, we're going to have to do one more vote because 39% have gone Salah, but the vote between Salah and Watkins is so close. I think we're now going to do a Salah or Watkins vote because those that went Saka or Haaland clearly want to go against Salah and might therefore be Watkins voters. So let's do one more captaincy vote, which is simply Salah versus Watkins. So then those that went Haaland and Saka get the opportunity to vote again. Let's see if that makes the difference or not.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Not that I'm trying to push them to vote against Salah. Like, I'm captaining Salah. I should just put that out there.
Is Haaland captain a differential this week?
Absolutely is. You fancy it?
Partly, mate. Yeah, I mean, Man City could go there and win 4-0, couldn't they? I mean, this is the thing with Man United. They've won 3 games in a row now, but well, by the skin of their teeth. I mean, the Brentford game, they've scored 2 goals at injury time to turn that around. They've beaten Sheffield United 2-1. And then in midweek, they've beaten Copenhagen and they've relied on a last-minute penalty save and a Harry Maguire header. Like, it's not convincing stuff, is it?
It's really poor. It is a good fixture for Man United.
Like,
but it is away from home at Old Trafford. That's the only thing.
I don't think it matters, mate. Man City go to United and they go to Old Trafford and batter them like regularly these days.
Yeah. And actually, don't you think for Man United, in a way, playing at home at the moment is quite a bad thing because the crowd are ready to be on top of them. In a way, it's the pressure's off when they're away from home.
Like for Man United fans, like going to that game, what you actually feel
They'll be booed off the pitch.
You want to be there because it's a Manchester derby and you hate Man City and typically like you used to beat them and stuff. But you're going to that game and you're basically hoping to get something from it. And it's just fear, basically, when you're watching a game like that, because Man United just are not playing well enough to suggest that they could actually win that game. It's weird. Like as I say, a 3-game win streak. But for me, the most unconvincing 3-game win streak I've potentially ever seen. So, yeah, I'm actually tempted to stick to Haaland now. That the more that I'm hearing this, I'm wondering if I might stick with Haaland. But anyway, carry on because we've got a vote to do.
We have, and there's not been many suggestions in the chat. I'm hoping CH is going to come up with those that have been discussed most in the chat. Or, I mean, Haaland out has come up a bit. Loads have said don't sell Trippier. Maddison out is a popular avenue. So look, let's start with those 3 big names, shall we? How do we save the money? And we'll start thinking the combinations later. But we can say Haaland out, Maddison out, Trippier out, and just see where you guys are at. It does feel like they're the 3.
Yeah, that sounded like a good option. Right? Yeah.
The poll is closer than the independence referendum, says Vindy. But it is Salah that takes it. Here we go. CH has said, okay, we'll add Saka, CH. Good shout. So Trippier, Maddison, Saka or Salah, that's where we can save the 2.3. It might be in 2 moves, but we'll start with the 1 player and figure out where we land.
What do you make of getting rid of Maddison? Like, is that risky?
I don't know. I mean, it's Spurs cover. I remember on Monday when we voted Maddison, it was purely because we didn't think Son was going to be achievable because everyone wanted Salah and Saka and Watkins and Haaland. So it was more Spurs cover than anything. So I guess I'm okay with going without Maddison.
I don't think it's the end of the world to go without Maddison for Crystal Palace away, to be honest with you.
And then Chelsea at home's tough.
Chelsea at home's tough, exactly. And Wolves aren't actually anywhere near as bad at the moment as we all thought they might be. Yeah, plus the Crystal Palace game is tonight. And that's one of those games that if Palace do what they can do tonight and like hold out, maybe get a 0-0, probably lose 1-0, right? You're going into your weekend thinking, what a waste of time. I mean, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. I've got Maddison and Son in my team. And I'm like, do I want both of those players for tonight? Like, am I happy with having Maddison and Son now? I kept them for the Fulham game. That's fine. But I don't know that I want both of those assets going forward. And so...
Oh my God. The Chaser team might be about to do something radical, mate.
Okay.
Have you seen the poll? It's close.
No, I haven't voted yet. Let me vote.
Haaland could be off.
out?
Oh, mate, it's 33, 33, 33.
No way.
It was Haaland leading, and then a few votes have come back in.
Haaland is leading on mine, 38%.
Oh,
Haaland out. What?
that would
You lot
be
are crazy.
well. That would give us some fun, though, wouldn't it? We'd have
I mean,
loads of money.
it totally opens up this show that we're the last 25 minutes of this show. Is neck and neck with Trippier at the moment. Oh, Trips have just got in front. You lot are bottling it, and the voters are absolutely bottling it. I can see you all shaking in front of your laptops right now. This is so tight, though. Haaland's back in front. Stop the vote while we can. Just get Haaland out.
How
the
many?
team.
Should
Let's
we
have a
stop it
fun.
at 100 votes? Oh, 101. There we go.
There we go. We're there. Haaland's done it.
Haaland out. It's done. We said we'd stop at
Haaland
100.
out. You crazy, crazy people.
Janny Curtain view, yeah. Do look like I've been kidnapped. A few people have said that. All right, wicked.
Wow.
Who are the obvious replacements for Haaland? Because
Haaland.
other than I'd say Darwin is one.
Darwin is one.
And then we could get Son. Craig's right. Like Craig said, Maddison to Son could be a nice upgrade.
I would definitely do that because you want a goal scorer to replace Haaland, and you probably need 2 goal scorers to replace Haaland, to be honest. So if you can get Son into the midfield instead of Maddison, and then you change Haaland to another actual goal getter.
CH loves Visser. I remember this from the other day. She keeps saying Visser in polls. So look, clearly CH, because British 87 agrees, Visser is an option. So let's do, as a replacement for Haaland, let's give Wilson, let's give Darwin, let's give João Pedro, and then we'll also give Archer, because you might go, look, let's go to a 4.5 and spend tons of money elsewhere.
Wilson's a good option, isn't he?
So we're not going to do Visser. Sorry, CH and British 87, but last time the vote was like 2%, and I think João Pedro is a better option. So we'll go João Pedro.
Wilson.
It's a name I can think of. Wilson, Archer, and Darwin. Wow, mate, we got tons of money now. We're going to have to ask our producer to tell us exactly how much we've got in our private chat if he can, so we know exactly what we're dealing with here.
Well, yeah, I mean, we can improve the entire squad suddenly. Like, there's like a few upgrades you can probably make once you lose him. Haaland's 14 million.
The chat love Wilson. We've already got Gordon.
We've already got what? Gordon. Yeah, but...
Gordon. Oh, mate, we can't go Wilson. We've got Lascelles and Trippier.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can get rid of Lascelles. We can get rid of Lascelles.
It's true.
We can get rid of Lascelles. I don't think Wilson is a bad option. I have to say, I actually think he's a really good option. Do
you not prefer Darwin like me?
Yeah, because I got Nottingham Forest at home.
Come on, guys, vote Darwin.
I think that is there actually a vote live? I haven't voted.
Vote Darwin, guys. Make it easier for us with the defence. And also, Darwin's upside. He's got Luton next week.
Blimey, Wilson's actually going to win that. Wilson's winning this vote. Clearly. This is a proper different team now. We did not see this show coming today.
Oh, guys, if you're still watching, thanks for staying tuned. We've got 300 of you in. Stay with us because we'll do some questions in the show. I'm going to show you my wild card, which is a more serious version of this team. So stay with us when we get to... Oh, it's on 100 votes now. When we get to 110... Okay, I think we can. Yeah, 100 votes, fair enough. That's our new thing. So, look, Wilson's at 40%. We're going to lock Wilson in for Haaland and tell you exactly how much money we've got to spend. Not off the 1.8 at the top of the screen, but off the 2.3. So we're actually going to be pushing these buttons live in the FPL app as we speak and give you guys 100% accuracy on what we've got to spend.
Yeah. Blimey. So we've got...
I've got no idea how much that saves us. It's around about 4 million left to spend.
Okay. Who don't you like in our team, in this team? Like who
I think Maddison to Son is worth the cash.
I think Maddison to Son, it just has to be done. And then, hang on, what's the difference between those two right now?
Guys, we'll do a poll when we're working it out. Do you want to upgrade Maddison to Pole? Because we know it's Maddison's song, because we know we'll be able to afford it.
Yeah, so that's what 1.4 difference is it between Maddison and Son?
I mean, a few have said, what about like Palmer to a Matoma, Gordon to a Matoma, Gabriel for Lascelles? There's loads of options flying in.
I think you can keep Gordon. I mean, he's still looking good. Like I watched the Newcastle Champions League game. I thought he was really good, even though Newcastle weren't brilliant.
Double Newcastle attack?
Got Wolves. I don't mind it.
Mm.
I
Yeah,
don't mind
they
it.
are attacking well at the moment.
They are one of the best attacking teams in the league, and when they play well, they play really well, and there's no reason to believe they couldn't beat Wolves by a few. Like I think Wolves are definitely like looking much improved right now, but yeah, Parma has terrible fixtures.
Okay, that vote's done. 69% already have said upgrade Maddison to Son.
CH says hello. We have 4 Newcastle players. Yeah, we're going to get rid of one. Don't worry.
We're going to get rid of one, but I don't
Gordon
think it
or
should be
Lascelles is
Lascelles,
going.
because if we get rid of Lascelles to say Gabriel, which has been suggested, that gives us 4 really good defenders each week. Like we'd have to bench Tsimikas, and it's like, do you really want to bench Tsimikas? Like no.
Well, Gordon's the obvious one then.
Yeah, probably is.
See if people are happy to get rid of him, but
let's find out how much money we've got. So I think I've just been told by the producer that we have 2.4 million now in the bank. With Maddison to Son, 2.4 million in the bank.
Okay, that's a good.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot to work with. Yeah.
That is Gordon up to. So Gordon's 5.6. That gives us 8 million to spend on a Gordon replacement, or is it 7 million? Hang on.
8. It is 8.
It is 8. Yeah, go Martinelli.
Can you actually afford Martinelli?
Yeah, he's under 8.
I mean, yeah, to bring Martinelli in, I would say it has to be considered.
Or Trent as an option. A few have said Trent. William and Michael want Trent. Guys, should we prioritise Matoma, because he's been mentioned loads? So let's not worry about who is selling yet. Do you want to buy Matoma? Do you want to buy Trent? Or do you want to buy Martinelli? There's ways easily of buying all 3. Or one of the 3. So let us know which one you want to prioritise. We'll ask you in the chat. Guys, 321 of you watching. If you're enjoying yourselves, please hit the like button and subscribe, of course. If you've got any FPL questions, we'll try and get some quick fire by the end of the show. I'm going to show you my wildcard too. So do we now want to prioritise Martinelli, Matoma or Trent? The chat, a lot of them are saying Matoma.
Yeah, they really are.
We'll put a poll out in a sec, guys. You can vote. Here we go.
Yeah, let's see what comes out of this priority poll. Matoma storms into the lead, 62%. Yeah, I can't see this being caught. Mitoma's going to be making his way into this lineup. Martinelli's halfway back.
So to get Matoma, sure, we can sell Gordon, but we could also sell Palmer. Like Palmer to Matoma is only 1.5, 1.6. So that would still give us tons of money. Yeah, I think the next poll is going to be, do you want to sell Gordon or Palmer for Matoma? And then that helps the CH question of Newcastle player. So let's do another poll of, do you want to sell Palmer or Gordon to bring in Matoma? So is it Gordon or Palmer, guys? Let us know in the chat. We need to know if it's Gordon or Palmer. We know we've got 4 Newcastle guys. If you do vote for Palmer, that's fine. We'll just sell Lascelles or Gordon to another. We're still going to have money left over, is my point. We're going to have like $1 million to spend anyway. So we'll tell you exactly how much we've got in the bank. Who do you want to sell for Matoma? Get voting.
Yeah, everyone's saying...
I'm going to sell Gordon, I think.
Yeah, I mean... Palmer against Brentford.
Oh, Christ. Everyone wants to sell part. Who do you want to sell? Guys, you know the question was sell, not keep, right? You guys all want to sell Palmer. All right, we're going with double Newcastle attack. So, Mr. Producer, if you can tell me Palmer to Matoma and click those transfers, lock them in, and tell us how much money we got. I'm guessing we're going to be upgrading Lascelles.
Yeah, I mean, there's still the option of Gordon to Martinelli, which has been suggested.
Yeah, we can't afford Gordon to Martinelli now, though.
I was going to say, does that now not work? No.
No, but CH is right. Now we know this. We can still do the Newcastle poll. So, do you guys want to sell? Which Newcastle player do you want us to drop? Lascelles, Trippier, or Gordon? Because we could still drop Gordon for someone else.
So, true. Yeah, that's the easiest way to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah. CCH, we did like the idea of Newcastle poll. It was just the timing was slightly off. We needed to do the Matoma one first.
He's
and now
got it
we're doing...
all in hand. He's
I
a
know.
pro
Never
for a
doubt
reason.
CH. Palmer Love, don't get it, says British 87. Crace has gone to Diaby again. So let's figure out exactly how much we've got. I'll tell you exactly how much we've got, guys. 0.9 in the bank. So we've got 0.9 million.
Dwindling away this cash.
That is enough to go Gordon to... I don't think Diaby. I think he's 6.7. I don't think we can go Gordon to Diaby, but the producer will let me know if we can. But Lascelles could go to Gabriel.
Maguire, as Limford says.
I mean, selling Trippier, you could upgrade Trippier to... How much is Trent?
Let's have a look.
I don't know if you could go Trippier to Trent with 0.9.
Trent is 7.9.
Oh, we'd be just short of that, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Looks like everyone wants to sack off Lascelles.
Does. Absolutely does.
All right, that's that then. Lascelles will go to... We've got 4.8 million spent on a defender, Dean. Any suggestions? I'm going to throw in Gabriel straight away.
Okay, let's see.
We can't get Porro, Michael. Porro's more than that.
Let's see.
4.8 to spend. What about... Can I throw Maguire in as a 4.2 million option? Because Danny says slab, so I assume you're referring to Maguire. And then you just bank the money. Because this doesn't have to be a starting defender, guys. We already have Cash, Tsimikas, and Trippier.
Yeah, that's true. Just looking through other options that have done well this season. Luca Dean.
Luca Dean's a good option. We've got a third Villa spot available. How much is Luca Dean?
4.7.
Oh, we've got money for Luca Dean.
Yeah, so that Luca Dean's an option. Can we still get Zinchenko? He's 4.9.
So we'll be 0.1 short. Okay, let's poll it with Dean, Maguire, and Gabriel.
And there's Van der Ven at 4.6, which that was to be a rogue one, but it was affordable, and Tottenham have the best defence in the league.
Yeah, they're keeping cleans. Guys, we'll poll this and get your thoughts. A few in the chat saying Anderson and Gahey. Yeah, Palace defence could be covered, but I don't want to give us too many. So let's see what the producer comes out with.
Doesn't seem like a great week to be getting Palace defenders, to be honest with you, but yeah.
I really hope we've got enough money for all this, mate, and it's bang on.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying our best here, mate. We're not accountants, are we? There's a reason I don't do my own taxes, and this is exactly why I go quiet during any period of adding up money.
Luca Dean is the second option there on screen, guys. The Aston Villa defender, Luca Dean. I'm going to vote Luca Dean.
Yeah, I feel like I'm voting for myself, but yeah, I'm just voting to stick myself in that lineup.
Gabriel's going to win it.
Gabriel's going to win by a landslide.
You lot. So this is our no Haaland draft. Pretty much. The only main difference is we've gone Callum Wilson over Haaland. Because the rest of the squad doesn't have much of an upgrade.
Not well.
Because we're going to have to bench one of these good defenders now.
Yeah, I mean, so we've got Son instead of Maddison, and we've now got Wilson up front. Okay. And who's Palmer turning to Matoma? Yes, I mean, it's not. It doesn't feel as exciting as it could be, like giving up a 14 million striker, but maybe this just proves that you can't lose Haaland.
Well, it was going to be interesting now, but look, let's go forward with a very quick roundup of our team. So,
are we still picking that rubbish goalie, by the way, or are we going to stick with someone who's better?
Oh crap! We've got a little bit of money in the bank, haven't we?
Yeah, we don't need a goalkeeper that's not going to play anymore.
Oh no, I think we've only got 0.1 million in the bank now. With Gabriel. So look, let's keep with the team we've got, and then let's bench Branthwaite. Clearly, we're gonna have to bench Palmer. Guys, this squad's too good. There's no enabler in here. No, you voted for it, so we're not going to make any changes.
We're playing 5-5-3.
Guys, let us know who you want to bench. I don't even want to do a poll for benchings because I think we should move on to my team now. You guys want to see some proper FPL content in the last 10 minutes. Let's move away from this team and move on to my team. We will tweet out our team with benchings. And if you've got any suggestions and don't like it, you can comment on the tweet. But we will tweet out at the back of the show with our new shiny team and a locked emoji. The captaincy you guys have voted for, we will go Captain Salah. And currently we will bench Branthwaite with Palmer and then one extra. But we'll let you guys decide on Twitter. Let's take this conversation forward to some richer FPL content in my team. This is what I've tried to build, Dean. It's like, I don't like bench points. So Branthwaite and Taylor and Bamba, I can't even pronounce his name, but Barmer, I'm happy with them sitting on my bench every week. And sure, if you get an injury, or a shock in the team news, you just have to rely on a Branthwaite or a Taylor to come in. But given the fixtures, I think I'll always have one of them with an okay fixture. Like, I don't expect Taylor, even with a good fixture, to keep a clean sheet, but it allows me a midfield double of Matoma and Diaby rather than that Gordon or that Neto or that Palmer option at sort of the 5 million price band. I just feel like Matoma and Diaby are worth the extra on the 5 million lot. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and I mean, I think even just looking at this wildcard straight away compared to what we just produced, your team's got Haaland and looks stronger. Like, in terms of the players you can actually put out, there's no downside really to not having the deeper squad that the other team we were just putting together has. So I find that really interesting that by losing Haaland in a wild card, I don't think the upside is that good. So yeah, I like the options that you've got. So who's your three? You're going with Simicast to start, yeah?
Yeah, I like Simicast. And I just think he is going to start. He didn't start last night, which I think is probably a good thing. I think the Premier League left back is going to be Simicast. And by the way, guys, Palmer was voted out. That was my mistake. We don't have Palmer. So yeah, I mean, what's your take on Simicast? He took 3 corners last week, so he's going to share the set pieces as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they played a 19-year-old left back in the Europa. That's not going to be a regular thing. It was a trial test out to see how he would do, and he did well, to be fair. But he's a player that they like and want to give some minutes. And Simicast has talked him up, but I don't think Simicast is worried about his own spot in the team at the moment, so he'll play. Yeah, I think it's the 3-5-2. I mean, it's very, very strong. I mean, the front seven's pretty ludicrous, really, with the options that you've got for points across that selection. And having, I mean, Barmer, I don't even know who he is, to be honest with you. Taylor and Branthwaite's, as you say, the guy that you'll rely on coming into the team whenever you need a sub to come in. So, yeah, very, very strong, mate.
With Palmer moving forward, it is worth noting, Poch has said in his press conference today, it's up to the players and he doesn't mind if it's Palmer, Sterling or Jackson who takes the penalty. He also said Nkunku is really close and could be back after the international break, which good signs for Chelsea. He also said James will be on the bench.
That's good. That means Gusto's starting.
Yeah, that's good for all the Gusto owners out there,
it's
isn't
good
it?
For me, because I was just looking at it thinking I need to get rid of Gusto this week, but is Gusto going to get to 60 minutes though? Probably not. That's the concern there. Like, I can see Reed's coming on before 60 minutes, but never mind. I'll have to deal with that in a minute. Yeah, interesting on that penalty debate. I mean, Cole Palmer's been so assured. I would be very surprised if he took Palmer off pens. And Enzo Fernandez seems to be self-appointed captain, the way that he told Raheem Sterling that Palmer was taking that last spot kick. So I think that personally, the reading of it is that, Palmer will continue to take pens.
I hope so. You can't take pens off a guy that's just scored 2 in 2. I don't think you can. It just makes no sense to let someone else have a go.
Chelsea haven't had players in form for like 2 years, and they've got one now who's confident and in form, and his new signing. Just let him keep taking pens until he misses one, and then change it. Like, there's no need to take Palmer off pens at the moment, and he seems so confident. The way he just stepped up and stroked that one home, I thought was brilliant.
Yeah, especially after the whole debacle of, give me the ball from Sterling. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
It's just not good practice. It's going to unsettle him, but it didn't seem to. But guys, 328 of you watching, hit that like button if you can. The producer is working wonders. He's put the names on the bottom of the screen. Can we do a poll, Chasing Greenhouse, to see who the chat is captaining? Yeah, good shout, CH. Let's do it. This isn't a captain of the Chaser team now. This is, who are you captaining this game week? We're going to give you the options of Saka, Watkins, Salah, and
Haaland.
Who are you captaining this week? Who are you going to captain, Dean?
Mate, I'm honestly like, I think I'm going to stick with Haaland. I think I am. I should go to Salah. I think. Here's my team. I don't like my team this week at all. I should switch to Salah, but do you know what? Haaland is, now that I know he's that much of a differential, he's the best striker in the world. He's going to be marked by Harry Maguire, and Man United got Onana in goal. Like, Man City are going to win this game 2 or 3-0, surely. And if that happens, Haaland is scoring.
Yeah, but are Liverpool going to win it 2 or 3-0 or more? Because I think Liverpool could score 4. I think Aston Villa could score 4. I'm not sure if Man City could score 4. I don't know in my head, but I mean, sure they can.
Yeah, no, I know exactly where you're coming from. I'm just trying to see. Let me see. I thought I had a stat.
Oh, the baby's woken up. I can speak properly. Thank God.
You should have just woken up at the start. It'd been fine for you for
Honestly,
at least 1 hour. No, I understand what you're saying from a Nottingham Forest point of view. But it's a gamble I've got to take, isn't it?
I mean, I like that. You don't mind a gamble, and why not?
I don't mind it.
I mean, there'll be tons going Salah and Saka and Watkins.
There's worse gambles to take than on Haaland scoring goals.
Yeah, like it's when there's not going to be many weeks this season where Haaland isn't in the top 2 most popular captain players, and maybe he'll be second most popular, but Salah will definitely be this week's most popular captain.
The problem I've got, obviously, is I've also got Alvarez. Like, my top 2 is both Man City players, and like
could be big for you if you captain Haaland and you've got both those 2, and the Man City do score big.
Yeah, really, really risky strategy, but something's got to happen this season for me. Like, I haven't actually had a great game week yet. I've just been like just run of the mill. Like, hasn't been anything terrible, hasn't been anything amazing. So. Let's see, maybe this week something changes, but I'm going to make at least one transfer, which will be my free transfer, and then we'll see. I might take a hit. But
a few this week are going Alvarez to Watkins because it's their only route to Watkins, who clearly is the best pick of the week. But to sell Alvarez, I don't know. He was rested in the week, and he was fine because he came on and he scored within 100 seconds. It was ruled out, but it was a well-taken goal. He's City's best player at the moment, and he's got Bournemouth next week. I would not feel comfortable selling Alvarez. And actually, on Wildcard, I'm like, should I be trying to get Alvarez in? And if I could get to Alvarez instead of Diaby and change formation, I would. But there's a 0.4 difference now, I think. I think Alvarez is 7.1 and Diaby 6.7. So, like, Alvarez is a brilliant pick this week.
Yeah. Always is.
Big Tip says Liverpool back into bully mode, and Forest are a team that that get at, and they'll set pace for 90 minutes. It won't drop. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are looking like that into bully mode. Like, they scored, was it 5 last night or 4? They're scoring big, and Salah looks on it. He's well rested. It could be a big scoreline. But Forest, opening day of the season, went to the Emirates. Like, Arsenal struggled against them. Like, Forest can go to the big teams and put up a fight.
They went to Man City and lost 2-0 recently.
Yeah.
They went to Chelsea and won 1-0. They've picked up some results this season. Like, they haven't been that bad. I mean, they conceded 2 against Luton in their last game out, but before that, they really hadn't been that leaky this season. And so, for them to get an absolute pace in here, there's not actually any signs of that.
Yeah. Guys, let us know your questions. Matthias says Alvarez or Nunez. We'll go alternate questions the next 3 minutes. Alvarez is, for me, he's cheaper as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Martinelli, Bowen, I mean, an absolute no-brainer at the moment. You've got to go with Martinelli.
Yeah. Llewellyn, Trips and Bowen or Gabriel and Son? I would go Gabriel and Son.
Me too. Definitely. Danny B, if you had 0.3 in the bank, would you buy Gahey over Maguire in a wild card, or just keep the funds for down the road? I would keep the funds for down the road, to be honest with you. I wouldn't even bother with that one.
Me too, and that'll be your defender 4, Danny. So you're only benching him. Like, if it's for bench, which it is, it's your first sub, go Maguire. James Ward-Prowse to Martinelli from -4, yeah, probably.
Yeah, definitely for the upside. Big Ed says double up with Matoma and Adingra on the wild card, or go Palmer instead. I'd have to say the Brighton boys. I'd have to back the Brighton boys on that
I'd
one.
double up. I
Yeah.
think Adingra's played 90 in the last 3 games.
Yeah, I like that.
Diaby Maddison, okay, that's a good combo. Or Saka and Gordon. Oh, probably Saka and Gordon. I think you want Arsenal cover for these next 3.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't love Madison in this Crystal Palace game for some reason. Mitoma 0.8 in the bank, or Bowen. I've loved Bowen all season. I don't feel like this is a great moment to be picking Bowen.
No, it's not a great moment to be backing West Ham players. I know we're all going Areola, but if I had a better option than that, I would. Should I do Saka and Matoma, says Eddie, in for Diaz and Bruno? That's 3 moves? Yeah. Easy
100%.
win.
Yeah,
Easy win.
Definitely, Eddie. Get on that one. Press the button right now. Vignesh says Udoji, Madison, Ward-Prowse, Tsimikas, Saka, and Gordon or Palmer for -3. So you're looking Saka and Gordon. Yeah, do that. Yeah. And out of Gordon or Palmer, I mean, if you have got the choice to out those two, for now, I'd go with Gordon.
Good questions, guys. CH says, let's hit that like button. If we get to 100 likes, it works for the algorithm. Yeah, probably does, CH. You probably know more about YouTube than me, to be fair. But
I didn't know that, but yeah, cool. Come on, 7 more likes and we'll be there.
Oh, calm. I don't know if that's a harder question. That's too long. I'm steering towards the Alvarez. Yeah, go Alvarez. I've seen some really good short ones. Thoughts on Evan Ferguson for the next 4, says Alex. Yeah, I do think I'd prefer João Pedro at 5.3, though.
Yeah. No, we don't really talk about João Pedro enough. Yeah, Adam says, is it worth keeping Diaz or move him for a Brighton mid? Or I'd probably move him for a Brighton mid at this stage. I love Diaz, but I don't think this is the moment to have him.
Yeah. Nicholas says, Madder out for Martinelli. Yeah.
106 likes. Well done, people. You've delivered. Let's see if the algorithm does too.
Made it. Mate, these Friday streams are getting good views as well. It's good to see over 300 live. So thanks for your support, and make sure you're hitting the subscribe button. Like, you're hitting like, which is great. Surely you're all subscribed. But if you're not, hit the magic button, will you?
Absolutely right. Last minute, Haaland, Rashford and Bomo to Watkins, Salah, Saka, -4. Haaland... Yes. I mean, because I don't like Rashford and I don't like Mbemo.
Ward-Prowse to Matoma or Roll. Make that move. Matoma's fixtures are so good. Sorry, Dean, but Fulham at home is a really nice one at the moment.
No,
So
it
go
absolutely
Matoma.
is. Yeah. Look, we're in terrible form at the moment. Like I would 100%, if I wasn't a Fulham fan, be back in Brighton. Transfer Almiron to Mitoma. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to admit, I don't think there's loads between these two. But yeah, you absolutely feel safe to do that. You won't lose anything.
Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Last question, I think, from SJ. Do you think Martin Odegaard or Martinelli could be differential this game? But yeah, I really do. I think it's a 4-0 scoreline. And therefore, Saka's the obvious. And we know why. We don't need to say why Saka's the better option. But Martinelli's a ton cheaper. I wouldn't be going Odegaard. He's not been playing that well. Martinelli against Sevilla was Arsenal's best player. The key thing for Martinelli is you want Jesus in the team. Jesus in the team is better for Martinelli, takes up slightly different positions with Nketiah. So wait for that Arteta press conference and try and get an update on Jesus. If Jesus is past fit and Arteta tells us, which is probably unlikely, I'm tempted to find a way of getting Martinelli in, but I don't know how. I think I'll be set on Diaby Matoma, but I'd be jealous of all those that have Martinelli for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Guys, thank you so much for being with us today. We'll be back on Monday, Dean and I. Is there a Monday night game, Dean? I'm not even sure.
Not sure. We've got a Friday night one, so probably not.
Well, that's good. We can do a normal Monday stream. It could be lunchtime. It could be 6, 7 o'clock. So make sure you're following Chasing Green Arrows on Twitter for those updates. And yeah, we'll see you on Monday, guys. May your arrows be green. For now, he's been Dean, I've been Gianni, and we've been chasing green arrows.